like what you did with taking that waveform and putting it really low. It's giving you a lot of headroom.
The waveform, which one?
The brown one, the 23?
This one right here.
Yeah, I thought I saw you taking...
Oh, the EQA?
No, I mean,
taking the high end out?
Imagine that, but you took the gain of the clip.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lowered it to 30.
Yeah.
And that's something I think not many people do so much. It's just to adjust the volume there. They'll go for the channel itself.
As far as drones go, a lot of things kind of low mixed together. They almost make their own special sound. That's why I like to mix things a lot of times low. And yeah, maybe you lose a lot of information. It's good to try both, like hot and quiet, just to see what happens and make a note. And, I might like it low now. I might sleep and come back to this project and be like, oh, I'd actually like this louder. Maybe it would make more sense. I may have to play and sit with a session like this, 12 times before I feel like I'm finally ready to start hitting record and like tracking it out on the timeline and making something. I think what I want to play with now is some kind of beats, percussions. I've been really fascinated with the use of white noise as a starting point and feedback loop filters, kind of like you could do with a modular. In some sense, kind of when you crank the resonation all the way up. All right, ground noise. All right. Now let's try to drop in.
Is it a white noise or a pink noise?
This is kind of a brown noise.
Brown noise, okay.
Well, there's a lot of roll off here. If I take, the scale up to 0, a lot more quiet to pinkish.
Yeah.
So maybe just yeah, with the auto filter, especially if you change it to OSR mode, if you go above, you can get some very intense. But I like to type in 99.9 or 8. You can actually do decimal places with a lot of these, and you don't see the decimal place here, but it's actually in there.
It's like self-oscillating?
Yeah, and put the pan on there, take it down to maybe try it. And let's set a little envelope to it. Right. Now I'll group this.
Kind of reminds me a bit of chain reaction sort of vibe.
Yeah, I mean, we could definitely get there if we play with this enough. This is obviously very crude, and we're kind of speeding through this whole thing. I'm just curious what's in the high end there. Yeah, so if I hit play on this, and I take the scale down. Yeah, maybe I want to modulate that so that over, let's just say 18 bars, we get this kind of modulation. Maybe it's down too much. I kind of want a little bit of that clicking to peek through. And I want to duplicate this. It'll be really loud here. So, and then turn this up, delete this one, and duplicate it. Let me
Really harsh.
And that's just how it is when you're playing with sounds.
Yeah.
A lot of times it sucks, but you just keep playing until finally you land on something, And you just got to remember that you can always, if you put enough time into it, it will always turn into something interesting. Yeah, sometimes I just have to take breaks and walk away, let my ear rest, go outside, do some field recordings, just anything to kind of give myself a break. And then I always think of new ideas when I come back. Again, obviously we could create this beat with a drum rack, and we could use MIDI clips. You know, that's a real easy way to get, and that's I think what most people would do. But I got bored with that, so I started trying new things out with the auto pan. And I definitely want to.
Again, I have the same question that comes to me, which is, are you having in your mind already sort of beat pattern that you have imagined, or are you just right now sort of exploring?
I'm just riffing, spitballing, and just trying things and seeing what's going to happen. Improving, basically.
Okay.
You know, but I guess it's sort of, I started to hear a bit of, like you said, basic channel kind of with the initial kick and the ambient stuff happening around it. So I immediately started to make, like, the clicking sound kind of reminds me of that era of music, that style of music. So I am just now basically riffing off of that train of thought. So as I am working, I'll think of new sounds, and it can take the song in such new directions. Just any kind of new effect or sound I add in.
But I appreciate that you're not trying to control the experience, that there's a lot of room for letting it be.
Yeah, I think that's really important, to not getting bogged down in your head as far as wanting to create a track that's amazing, and it's like, you know, yeah, eventually you get there, but it takes a lot of, like, you know, it's like, that's like landscaping. You got to spend a lot of time just moving dirt around, you know, and getting dirty, and, you know, to make a yard look amazing. It can take days, it can take weeks. It just depends on, like, how complicated you're trying to go. Obviously, we're doing something that's very simple. Yes, I'm using a very alternative route to get there. But if I wanted to, I could record this down and put it in the drum rack and use the traditional MIDI way, but I like that I can add this LFO here, and it's, you know, it's not so different than how, like, a synth, the routing inside of a synth may have, and you have an LFO, and you can get these similar sounds from a synthesizer, you know, whatever it takes to, like, get to where you want to go. Yeah, use all the gear, digital, analog, otherwise just use it all. Don't ever expect, you know, to go where you have in your mind in the beginning. Sometimes you get lucky and you get exactly there after 10 minutes of exploration. I have enough tricks in my head that I know I can achieve certain things immediately because I know certain combinations work really well together. Now let's see if I can get something a little more fast-paced. I'm going to put the ramp on there. And I can actually group all these together. You know, and sometimes I'll do live sets where I'll just have these groups and I'll bring them in, and each song is a different group, and I'll just have knobs, you know, for each group. And sometimes that works really well. So building is fun, obviously. I feel like the clicking needs something. So at this point, I'm going to do a multiband split. I'm going to group this EQ. Multiband effects are another tried and true katana sword of sound design. I think everyone should. Let's see, chain. What happened there? Looks like something disappeared.
It just wants you to drop an effect in there.
I must have accidentally hit delete. Alright, let's try this multiband effect. What I'm going to do is put an EQ8 in a group. I'm going to put that isolates our click. So we'll call this click. I'm going to duplicate this. Click. Alright, and actually I'll do one that's got the in-between stuff too. This is a really crude multiband. That's okay. We're just playing around here. Alright, maybe. Interesting. Didn't expect that. Tremolo somewhere in there. Again, I have like a vague sense of what this will do, but ultimately I'm just kind of waiting to see what's going to happen.
That's why I'm letting you go, because I'm just seeing that right now you're in the zone and just going exploring, total exploration.
Yep. That's the fun thing of sound design, really. Like, you know, an hour ago, I would have never expected us to hit this point. But
we started with a really simple task of trying to make something digital sound less out of the box, and now we're getting lost in layers and layers and layers of sound.
Which is, to me, that's the fun of it. That's what makes this whole thing.
And ultimately, the point of sounding less in the box is to have lots of layers of complexity, because it breaks the linear aspect of digital.
Absolutely. Yep. Yep. So having a bag of tricks like, you know, a bunch of presets, like the old tape distortion effect that I showed you. What was that? Somewhere in here. You know, it's, I can see if I can find that again. Trying to get back to where you came sometimes can be tricky. Sometimes you just have to like keep moving forward and, you know, not get lost in trying to fix something, you know. Let's see. So library presets. We've got these audio.
You know, one thing that strikes me as a mixing engineer, I would never ever boost things like that. I would instead cut and then boost on the gain of the EQ instead.
Yep.
Because I don't want to see a curve that I don't see.
Right? And that's, I specifically...
But it's fine, you know, like in the end it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, honestly, you know, you can push EQs. I've had like 3-4 EQs where all of them were going all the way up. And it made an interesting sound in the end, you know? Like, most people think that's abusing something, like you're gonna break your computer. Well, your ears you have to watch out for, but that's where a limiter is your best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
I'll say that over and over.
Yeah, I'm just gonna modulate this. This just has a series of delays that are kind of like a metally... And I just love painting, you know. I don't even know what this is going to do. This is literally like expressionistic or impressionistic brushstrokes.
It's totally Bob Ross.
Yeah, this is a real Bob Ross moment. All right, now let's go back here, and we're just basically modulating this time. Starting to sound like aliens.
Yeah.
Alright, let's go down to here. I'll copy a bit of this. 3, put it here. I copied it. Kill that. So now we have like a little mountain. This over here. So click, I want to put more of a delay effect on that to push it off, because right now it's falling right on the bass, and I want to push it off. So we can use a delay effect, let's say just 5, some kind of odd.
I don't remember if there's like I mean, you could play on the. I was going to talk about the delay on the channel, but that's not what we want.
Oh, you mean the latency?
The latency,
delay.
Yeah.
I like using the delay because sometimes you can cause a. Let's see if I can just put it on right here. Maybe I just want this feedback to go up once every, 5 minutes. This is a good way to build like really long generative pieces, is just using the really long modulation loops. It can be hard to sort of pinpoint problems if you have like a feedback loop that only turns on every 5 minutes. You hear something crazy every 5 minutes. And it's after tweaking with one layer is when I start to, after 10 minutes of it, noticing other layers, that are kind of like, all right, that's maybe a little annoying now, and so I'll go in and I'll turn it down. I'm always trying to be cognizant of everything else that's happening along with this.
I like how sometimes people have a station for making music with little speakers inside their dining room or kitchen, and they will be doing their regular life and have this loop in the background, and then all of a sudden they get like a different perspective of what it is to have their music playing in the background, which is like a lot of people are listening to the music that way, and what's kind of too loud and what might be annoying as well.
Yeah, I've my old roommate used to do that. I've actually done it too. I think it's really smart. Just to walk around even your studio room and maybe even read a book or check your texts. You might even hear something while you're doing that. So here's that ceramic pot field recording yesterday, and I pitched it up. It's just kind of like this extra little. Got a lot of beautiful high-end stuff.
Yep.
Now here. I'm going to do here. Just map some of these.
This is where push becomes really handy. Just have direct access once you have them mapped like that.
Yeah.
Super practical.
And then we can map our, let's see, this one, we'll do here, usually kick first. This is some kind of, aliens, alien birds.
Those were intense.
And now we can just automate this stuff to kind of turn up and down. Although I'd like to separate out the click and the kick, which I think we have in both of these tracks, yeah. Click, kick.